Jeff Muchmore with Echo RM, Echo Relationship Management. I'm going to take you through a quick demonstration of Echo to show you how easy it is to use Echo for your business. The first time you and your users log into Echo, you're going to go to your own custom URL, your own mycompany.echorm.com, and sign in with a username and password. And as long as you click Stay Signed In, you can sign in, and it's your browser, your computer is going to remember who you are, and you won't have to sign in again unless you sign in with a new computer or on a new device. Once you're signed into Echo, the default landing page for your users is going to be their calendar. So you can see I'm signed in. I've got one appointment from 2 to 6 today. And I'm going to start off by showing you a couple of simple things. The first thing we'll do is simply add an appointment, a new appointment for Echo, so you can see what it looks like and how easy it is to actually use the system. If we were to go ahead and filter down for just the day, we could go ahead, we'd see that I just have that one appointment that you saw on the calendar. I'll click Create New Appointment and show you the Create Appointment page. So the first thing we want to do for our appointment is select our customer. And we could do that either by selecting from the list of all of our customers. It's a drop-down list right here, which of course can get fairly extensive as you start to build a customer base, or we can just type ahead. So if you know part of your customer's name, let's say we're looking for Joe Sanders, I can type in Joe, and you'll see the type ahead will catch all the Joes in the system. Or if you type in Sanders, it will get everybody with Sanders or S, whatever portion that you put of the name in there. So in this case, I've only got a couple of users in my test system. I'll go ahead and assign this to admin, who's me, and I'm going to say that I'm going to offer them today our fantastic service. I'll select fantastic service, and I'll say I'll just schedule this to start. Looking at my calendar, I could see down here that I've got availability. I'm going to go ahead and start at 7 o'clock. So let's just go ahead and set it up for 7 o'clock. And it's going to default it to fantastic service as a 30-minute service. So let's go ahead and save it. Saving the appointment the first time is going to take us over to our edit window. And if we need to do any other edits or modifications here, we can go ahead and do that. So we just have one other look. Now you can see my calendar has this new appointment on it, as well as the other additional appointment that I had on. If I wanted to add a recurrence, this would be the place to do it. I can set it up to be a weekly appointment or a monthly appointment occurring, say, every Tuesday or every Friday or every Saturday or every third month on the second Wednesday of the month, for example. But we'll say for this demonstration that this is it. We are just going to go ahead and start this service. And this is what your user is going to see when they come into the system. They're going to see a page that looks like this. If they're looking at this from a mobile phone or a tablet, they'll see a version that's adjusted to their screen size. So for a mobile phone, it's going to look more like this, and you'll see everything just falls in line. You don't even need an app to use Echo. It's going to adjust automatically to the device that's being used. So if I've got my customer information here, and this is simple. We're not looking to edit a lot on here. In fact, your users are limited in terms of what they can do by whichever type of access level you assign them when you set it up. If there are any notes that were previously written by other users, those notes are going to appear here. And you'll see here that there's a customer, that user 1 created back on the 31st, a beware of dog note. Let's say we get up there and there's a gate code, and we want to make sure that other users know that there's a gate code. We can add a comment here. So we'll say gate code 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to set this as an alert. And what an alert will do is cause that to pop to the top of the list and be highlighted. So you'll see that it's highlighted here, that I posted that it's an alert, and that next time somebody has an appointment with Joe Sanders, this is going to come up on top. In fact, it'll actually be highlighted red for them because they haven't seen that alert, and we want to make sure that it gets their attention. So again, very simple page. If there was other items, you'll see here our fantastic service is right here. We can add items to this if we get there, and we're gonna give them a filter or do an additional service. We can go ahead and add services. We can add items, but let's say we add a filter here quantity 1, you can see here it's $65 each. And that filter is added. You see the item is added successfully here. When we get there, we can click Start the Appointment. If we need to adjust the appointment and say that we actually started at a different time than the start now, so say for whatever reason we get there, and hopefully your users clock in, but if they didn't, they can adjust it here, and then we can click End Appointment. Now, ending the appointment is going to set it, or we could set it up here as well. Now, ending the appointment is going to set that appointment as complete. We'll say yes, that this appointment was complete, and therefore it goes everybody in the system that knows that this is a completed appointment. Now, if we're sitting in front of the customer, and depending on how your business operates, you may or may not do this, you can generate an invoice and click the Generate Invoice, and that's going to go ahead and generate an invoice for them. And so you'll see that the fantastic service of $50 is shown here, as is the Pentair filter. Now, there's a couple of things that we can talk about in more detail in other videos, but this is just an overview walkthrough. I just want to point them out. The service itself is not taxed, and the filter is taxed. You can see that it's taxed because it says tax next to it in small green. And then we can set up the tax rate, which is set by a system-wide default that you set up for the organization. If you're in one of the states that does it county by county, and perhaps the state tax is 6.5%, but they go into a county that's got a 6.75% tax, they can go ahead and adjust this right here. And the taxable items, click check, and the taxable items and the tax amount are going to be adjusted. If there's a discount, the discount can be added right here. And so I can say that there's a $15 discount, not quite that much, $15 discount. Go ahead and add that discount. And then if we choose, and this is another user setting, we can get the customer, so we can choose to capture the customer signature. Again, some businesses do not do this. Some businesses, it's very important that they do that. That's a setting and a user setting for Echo. I do not have a great signature here, so let's just say we'll do test. And obviously, typically we'd hand the user a tablet or device. They'd sign it with their finger. I'm doing it with a mouse. Doesn't look that great, but I'll go ahead and click capture that. Now, once you capture this, the invoice is set to final. We don't want your customer signing something and then items being added to it. So let's say for whatever reason, no, we don't want to set it final. We actually have another item that needed to be added. You can add the item to the invoice just like you saw on the service page. And if it's a write-in item, you can see you could toggle it to a write-in item over here and actually write in something. So if it was an item that you don't normally carry in stock and it's in your product catalog, then you can go ahead and write it in. But let's just say that they're adding an item here. We're giving, in addition to the filter, we're doing Super Grow, and perhaps we're doing 5 units of Super Grow. We'll go ahead and add the item over here, and you'll see that the Super Grow is also added to this invoice here. So now we're going to go ahead and capture this. You could have cleared it if it didn't look good, and then just capture it like this. And now we've set the invoice to final. Once the invoice is final, if it needs to be unwound, again, depending on the user permissions and levels, they'll need to contact the office to open it back up. The idea is that when they lock it, it's locked. Otherwise, what they can do is they can still mark this invoice as paid. So they have the customer sign it, then they collect payment, click paid right here, it opens it up. Let's say they took a check. In this case, it's going to automatically assume that the check was done for the full amount of $132. And we'll just go ahead and say this is check 789. Go ahead and submit it. And now we're changing it from simply a paid status to from a complete status to a paid status. If we do that, which I'll go ahead and do it this time, set it as paid. And now you'll see that the invoice is actually marked as paid. And the payment information is stored down here. Last thing that we can do from this on this demo, and I'll have a few more rolled out here very shortly, is to show you how to do some of the other things like getting your customers set up and your building your services, adding users, and doing your settings. But as far as demonstration is really meant to be from a user perspective, we can email your customers the invoice. So we have a template set up. This is a template that you build out however you want it built out. If your user wants to go ahead and make changes here, they can go ahead and make changes here. And if they would ask the customer, okay, Mr. Sanders, I've got your email address, joe.sanders at anyemail.com, and here's your Echo RM invoice. I'll go ahead and actually send this to myself, and we will, when the customer agrees, go ahead and send that. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. And it doesn't take very long. It runs through the server, and then when the customer actually gets their email, they can go ahead and open it up and actually see a print copy of the invoice. So I'll go ahead and open that up. Pops in here, click to view it, and you'll see this is what they see. It's a editable copy of the invoice here. And there's a couple other things I didn't mention, but as far as the logos that you'll see over here, where it says logo, that this logo is customizable. The invoice logo is customizable here, and we'll go ahead and do that in a different demonstration. I hope you enjoyed this demonstration of Echo, and if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. I'll get the contact information up. So feel free to reach out to us. Our website is echoRM.com. Phone number there on the screen, 941-753-8270. We offer, I'll be happy to take you through a one-on-one demonstration, and we can go ahead and set a trial up for you and your business so you can see Echo in person and get a chance to use it for yourself. Hope you enjoyed this presentation. Look for some more to come.